Aloha.
Hello.
Aloha.
Hello.
Did you watch the surfing? Did you watch the surfing
Oh,
at the Olympics?
no.
They have
What are you
surfing.
doing?
Yeah, they're in Tahiti.
Oh,
They're doing it in Tahiti. The waves are crazy high. Crazy.
wow.
Yeah, but Tahiti is a French colony, so that's why
Yeah,
they
yeah.
did it there.
That's a long ways away.
Very long. Yeah.
You know what I watched in the last hour?
Where?
What I watched? An
What?
old movie, Doctor Strangelove, and how I learned to love the bomb. You remember?
Oh yeah, I love that. It's a great movie.
Dr. No.
Peter Sellers.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of well-known actors.
Yeah. I think he was supposed to be Kissinger. I think he was trying to imitate Kissinger
Well, and
with the accent.
with the actor, you see his hand,
Like he's a Nazi.
but he was also the president.
You are, yeah, right.
And he was the English colonel who was sequestered by the general who sent the order to.
Oh, I have to see it again. I don't remember that. I have to see that.
It's in Amazon Prime.
Oh, it's a good movie.
Yeah. Scary at the end when all those bombs get shot. Where is Ernie?
Oh, Walter.
Hi, Aaron. How are you?
Walter, you want to call Ernie?
I want to call him. Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, he's coming. He's there. He's almost ready.
Yeah. There he is. You see,
Oh,
There
you
he
see,
is.
you're right.
automatic.
Oh,
See,
You ask, he shows up.
Cohen, he's a shtickle novi.
I'm more than a shtickle.
Yeah. Now you're boasting, as
We are on Mem Aleph 41. Iboilahu stomamai. So if a person gave a star matana or a star matana is found, where it's not clearly written in there that the one who gave it told people to spread the word. What's the din? Ravina Merloi Chayshina. We're not concerned that it's a hidden gift, and we treat it as a full-fledged gift. Rav Ashi Amar Chayshina. If it doesn't stipulate exactly what kind of gift it was, we have to be concerned that it's a matana b'seiter. It's not a real gift. V'hilchas Chayshina. That's the halacha. The Rambam and the Shulchan Aruch says, "Shtar matana shein mufurish bo shanoisen tziva la'edin ufarsim ksiva." So you find the shtar matana, it's not clear that Eidim were instructed to write it and to be mefarsim it. We're concerned that it's a hidden gift, and the one who gets the gift is not makabel. It's not koina. Even to an extent that the Rama says that if the guy who was gifted this thing had already grabbed it, you take it away from him. Mishnah. So we've been talking about somebody squatting in the field. In order for a squatter in the field to have rights by eating in that field for 3 years, and then we assume he has a chazaka, that's only if he has a legitimate claim what he's doing there. Like, I bought it. But if there is no claim, there's no chazaka. The one who's claiming that this land is really his land, and somebody squatting there says, what are you doing on my land? V'hu amar lo, shelo amar li adam davar me'olam. You know what? Nobody told me I shouldn't be here. Nobody protested. He didn't come up with a claim that I bought it, and that's why I'm here. So even though, if he has no claim like that, and even though he's been there for 10 years, it's no chazaka. But if besides being in the field, he says, Mochartali, you sold it to me. Oh, Shnatatli Matan, you gave it to me. Or Avicha Machli, your father sold it to me. Or Avicha Nasnali Matan. Or your father gave it to me as a gift. Arezu Chazaka. Along with the 3 years of uninterrupted eating without protest, with such a claim, now he has Chazaka in that field. Now, Haba Mishum Yerush, if he claims he inherited it, Einot Tzarech Taina. That's enough of a Taina. He doesn't have to say, how did this asset get into the possession of whoever gave it to me through an inheritance, like his father or whatever. He doesn't have to have evidence how his father got it. Once he says he arshened it, that's enough. So pshita that chazaka without taina is not enough. He's not claiming that he owns it without a taina. So the Gemara goes through a complicated thought process. Mao the same. You might have thought that Hai Gavram Izbin Zavne Lehai Ara. This guy who's squatting it, he bought it. The original owner sold it to him. And he had a star, but he lost it. Now that he's claiming, you know what? I'm in this field because nobody ever said there was a problem with me being in the field. He didn't bring up that he had bought it. Now, why not? Because Sovar, he had in mind, if I mention that I bought it, Amrli, so fine, achvi shtarcha. Show us your star. And he knows he doesn't have the star, he lost it. Hilkach. So therefore, there might have been a svara, lema le'anon. Sometimes Bezdin will make the taina, will make the claim for a person. So maybe Bezdin will say to the guy, oh, dilma shtar avalachava irkis. Maybe you had a star and you lost it. And kagon ze posach picha le'ilem. Sometimes the posach in Mishlei, sometimes Bezdin will open up a taina. And maybe the din is that Bezdin does this. Kamash Malon that no. We don't say that Bezdin makes such a taina. And if he doesn't commit with a taina that he bought it, it doesn't establish a true chazak. On of Simon. Ravanan Shokal Bid Kabara. He allowed some kind of flood to occur in his field. And it washed away, there was a wall between his field and his neighbor's field. And then he rebuilt the wall. But he built the wall a little bit on the property of his neighbor without really knowing that he did. And then later on, it came to Bezdin. Also, Commander of Nachman. Armele Zil Hodar. You have to tear down the wall and build it so that the border is correct again. So, Vaha Alzikili. I've already, let's say I took 2 feet of my neighbor's ground and I built the wall 2 feet into his property. And I've been here 10 years already and nobody said anything. So Amrlei, so Rav Nachman said, Kiman, Kedas Rav Yehuda Rabbi Shmuel, the Amri, Kol B'fon of La'alter Rabbi Chazaka, that if I used land directly in front of my neighbor and he doesn't protest, it creates a Chazaka right away. Less Hilchasa Kavasayu. The halacha is not like them. And just because you've been there and he hasn't protested, it's not correct, and you have to return the boundary to where it was. Amar le v'ha'achil. He was moichel me already. I'll tell you how I know that he was moichel. To us of a side good about doy. He helped me build the wall. He paid some of the expenses, or he actually laid the bricks with me. Amar le mechila b'tosi. You didn't know that you were on his property. He didn't know. So it's a mechila through a mistake. You yourself, Ravanan, if you would have known that if you were building the wall on his property, you wouldn't have done it. You're masig gvul. Just like you didn't know, he didn't know. So that which he was moichel you betos. He thought that the wall was built on your property. So the law is that it's not a chazaka. That's mechila betos. Now, if the guy did know about it, his neighbor, and he didn't protest, then it's a mechila. Rav Kahana shakal bid kibari. Same thing happened to Rav Kahana. He allowed a flood, or a flood occurred in his property. He also rebuilt the wall, and he built it a little bit in his neighbor's property. This case came in front of Rav Yehuda. He brought two witnesses. That he was 2 feet. It's not really feet, it's like rows of vegetables. The amount of land was 2 arugos. The chadamer tlos would say so. It was 3 arugos. Amr zil sholim at least tarti migutlas. Rav Yehuda Paskin, he has to give back at least 2, not 3, but listen, there were 2 eidim. One said 2, the other said 3. Well, the common denominator is 2, so you got to give 2. Amr lay, so Rav Kahana said kiman. Now, l'chura, there isn't 2 eidim on the same thing. 1 aid says 3, 1 aid says 2. It's a stira. Can you accept that? Yeah, it's Rav Shimon ben Elazar, the Tanya. Rav Shimon ben Elazar. You have 4 people, 2 eidim and 2 eidim. One group of 2, achas umeres, that Ruvain owes Shimon $100, and another 2 eidim, achas umeres, Mosayim. No, Ruvain owes $200. There's no argument. Yesh b'klal Mosayim mana. $100 is the common denominator. Everybody agrees. There's full eidim, at least for 100. Reuven owes Shimon $100. Al manechleku, al kas achas. We're talking about 2 individuals, 1 group of eidim. Echad omer mana ve'echad omer masai. One of the aides says 100, and one of the aides says 200. Beishamai omerim nechlekan edus. There's no edus here. There isn't a complete edus on one item. Well, there is 100. If you say 200, you're admitting to 100. So there is 2 eidim that say there's at least 100. And I paskin like Beis Hillel. We paskin like Beis Hillel. Rambam and Choshen Mishpat paskin like Beis Hillel. Armor lay v'hai ma'isir igrusim in marava, but I can bring a letter from Eretz Yisrael. She'ein alochik Rav Shimon ben Elazar. Armor lay l'chitasi, fine, bring it. Meanwhile, the psak will be like me, and that's actually the final psak. Ahu gavra dedar bekashta bi Elisa. A person was dwelling in an attic, Arbishani, for 4 years. Okay, somebody has their Mario, I think you have you need to mute your thing because we're hearing some noise from your house. Excellent. Thank you, Mario. A person was dwelling in an attic, Arbishani, for 4 years. Also, the owner of the house comes and finds this guy who's been squatting in an attic for 4 years. My boss, what are you doing here? I bought it from you. I bought this attic from you. And obviously the owner claims that he doesn't know anything about it. But l'chura, the guy's been there for 4 years. There's been no protest. He's giving a taina that he bought it. And l'chura, what we've been learning so far in Bava Basra is that he would get claim to it. Asl kamed Rav Chia. The darba, if you have witnesses that this guy that you're claiming you bought it from had been there, had lived there, even afilu chad yoma ukmin lacha, then we will give you this property. If you don't have any witnesses that this guy you're claiming you bought it from had ever lived there, and you have no witnesses, then you'd have to give it. It's not successful. Also, Kamed Rav Chia. We said that. Amar Rav. Have a Yesivna Kamed Chavivi. I was sitting in front of my uncle Rav Chia. Rav's uncle was Rav Chia. V'amri lei. Why do we need witnesses? Why does he have to bring a witness that the guy he claims he bought it from had lived there? Said we have to be there at least for a day. What do you mean? Even if he was there at night, one night, you could have bought it from him. And maybe he didn't even sleep there at all. Maybe he was there for 10 minutes. The chazisi l'daite. She'i omar le kamai didi zavna minech. That it was done in front of me, that he had bought it. I am a hem and migudi boy omar le. He could have also said, "Anos vanta minech." Let's say the third party had said, "We were there." Why is it any difference? If he was going to lie, he could have said, "I bought it directly from him," and we would have believed it. So Amar Rava Kavasei Rav Chia Mistavra Diktani Haba Mishum Yerusha. The Mishnah said, if a person claims that he's in a property because he inherited it, Einot Sarach Taina, he doesn't have to say anything else. Taina Hushla boy, Haraya boy, but he has to bring proof that the person who gave it to him in inheritance was the owner of it. The Gemara says no. V'dil malo raya boy, v'lo tana, but maybe claiming Yerusha, like the Mishnah said, doesn't need anything. Not a taina, not a raya. The boy say that even if you yarshened it, you have to bring a raya that the guy owned it who gave it to you in Yerusha. But here is different. Person's not going to give money to somebody else for free. Since he paid for it, he obviously evaluated that he had the schus, that guy had the schus to sell it to him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have paid good money. Iboilu. Nirabo, the seller was seen hanging around this piece of land. Is that enough? Amar by he. Yep, it's the same as if he had witnesses. Rava Amar Avadinish Disir Arav Velozavin. What do you mean? Some people wander around a piece of property, they don't necessarily own it. Just because he was there, it's not a proof. Unless you see him actually working the field. Shloisha lekuchos mitzdarfin. If there were 3 buyers and of a land, and each one was there for a year, and together it adds up to 3 years, it's a chazaka. It's one chazaka. There's its starfus. Amar Rav Kulam bishtar. This sales from one to another had to be documented with a star, because with a star, it has a call. It's like publishing it in the legal journal. Hang on.
Ask Harold. Harold, we need a minion there by Marty.
I'm trying to answer there now.
Yeah, I can see that. Can you join
Yeah, what time? Like right after this?
7:35? Yeah, please.
Okay, I'll go right after.
Okay, just put it.
I just answered 2, so we have enough. So you have to these purchases that are mitzdaref to the 3 years of chazaka, it has to be bishtar. Lemreimer the sover Rav Shtar isle kola, ve'edim lesle kola. Does Rav hold that only a shtar has a kola, not edim? V'omer Rav amoicher soda be'edim. If you sold a field in front of edim, even though there was not a shtar written, and the field is taken away from the one who bought it because there was a previous lien, the one who bought the land and now had it taken away from him can collect from a guy who owes him in the chasim mishubadim. And you can only collect from the chasim mishubadim if it's like has a call. And even though there's only edim and not a shtar. So Hasam Lekuchos, the Gemara will have an answer, and we'll leave that for tomorrow. Okay, so tonight we are doing Surah at 8:15. Okay? And then tomorrow's